And most of this examination, or at least the first phase of the examination, is like a MCQ type, multiple choice question type. So through this particular webinar, we will be catering the need of those who are willing to crack or pass this MCQ based examination in a very first attempt. So actually I am having two screens in front of me. So to read out something, I will be looking here and there. So don't feel distracted. So we will start from the net. See, I will not talk much about JRF and net, JRF and SRF, because what we are going to see in this particular scheme of examination in a strategy, everything will be covered. The same principle applies for all MCQ based examination, whether it is JRF, SRF, UPSC prelims, anything and everything. Okay. So the first and foremost, we will start from the net. Like it has one paper. You need to answer one paper of 150 mark, and that paper consists of 150 MCQs, 150 multiple choice questions, and you will get only 2 hours. You will get only 2 hours to pass this exam. Each question carries 1 mark. So if you get, how to say, if you can click on a correct answer, you will get 1 full mark, and all these questions will be from your own discipline. But I'm not sure like how best you are preparing for the general agriculture. So pay attention to that factor also. Nowadays, they ask many questions from the general agriculture and from the current affairs pertaining to your discipline. So try to be smart when it comes to general agriculture and the current affairs happening with respect to your own discipline. Now, the minimum marks required for qualifying net. See, all this information I have taken from the recent notification of ASRB. If you're preparing for net, ARS or something like that, you must be regularly visiting the websites of ICAR as well as ASRB. Okay, they make changes, or they keep updating few things regularly. So there are things which might change or which may change in next year's notification. We don't know. Sometimes they change disciplines, sometimes they merge few disciplines, sometimes there is a, how to say, the change in criteria, something like that. So if you are in touch with the websites, you will get updates. And it doesn't matter for which examination you are preparing, you should be ready to read the entire notification at least 3 times, page to page, word to word, everything. All the facets of notification you should know. There are some legends who only see kitna fee hai, okay 500, chalo baro bhai, aise nahi karna hai. When I was preparing for JRF, there were 2-3 legends in my batch. One of them wanted to write examination from the Karnal Center somewhere in Haryana, and he clicked on a Karnul. So he got that in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, something like that, and he traveled to Haryana. और वहां पे जाके पता चला कि उसका सेंटर ही नहीं है. तो ऐसे काम कभी भी मत करना. Please be sure what option or what particular field you are clicking to. So in order to pass this NET exam, they have given the minimum qualifying marks. So for example, if you are from the unreserved category, you need at least 50%. If you are from the OBC, at least 45%. And SC, ST, PWBD, then you need 40%. And you see, if you are studying regularly, if you are following the updates regularly pertaining to agriculture and your own discipline, and if you're doing your masters at least in a very sincere way, I feel it's not too difficult to crack this NET. Okay. And there is a clause of negative marking. If you make a mistake while attempting the MCQ, they will deduct like 1/3 of marks from your scorecard. So please be aware of negative marking. Don't hit answers in a fun. Okay. And then let us look at the ARS. What happens for the ARS is it is a mixture or a 2-stage examination, like 2 separate competitive examination. The first one is a computer-based test. The preliminary exam is a computer-based test, and the second one is a written. Okay, but when we say what happens with the ARS prelims and main, the prelims is only of a qualifying nature. The marks which you get for the prelims, they are not calculated, or they are not used by the ASRB to display the final merit list. So it is only a qualifying nature, like it's only to get a ticket to write the mains examination. But in the mains, you will be writing the mains paper, and if you can qualify it, they will invite you, ASRB will call you for the interviews. So once you pass the written, there would be a YOC, or we call it an interview. So the plan for this particular examination is ARS 2021. From that same notification, I have taken these figures. It will be a paper of 150 marks. You will again get 2 hours, and they have given some criteria like how many marks you need to pass it. And then when we talk about the mains, it is of 300 marks in the 2 phases. The first phase is written descriptive type for 240 marks, and you will get 3 hours to answer that particular question paper. And the YOC, the interview, it carries the 60 marks. So in total, you need to compete for the 300 marks. So there are some important, how to say, considerations for your preliminary exam. Like you will get 1 paper, as I told you already, MCQs and 2 hours. Okay. And it's in the online format. Earlier, it was a kind of OMR sheet. They used to give us the OMR sheet, and you need to darken the circles with a pencil and all. But nowadays, ASRB has chosen this computer-based test format, wherein you simply click. ये कौन है रे भाई? आप marking मत करो screen पे. You need to simply click the appropriate answer on that particular form itself. So that is very easy now, what I feel. And they give you questions in a bilingual format. So if you're a little bit good in Hindi, it will help you to understand some complex questions which are framed in English language. So that's the one advantage you can take from the Hindi language. Like if you're not able to understand one particular question, you try to read it, and it helps you in the comprehending the questions in an appropriate manner. Then if, yeah, the negative marking also applies over here. If something goes wrong, they will deduct 1/3 mark, and they don't do that rounding of marks or something like that, because it's only for the qualifying nature. Okay. And these marks, they may use in case there is a tie break or a tie between 2 candidates, but generally they don't use this mark for the final selection. So the minimum marks required for qualifying ARS prelim exam are: the first one, unreserved category, you need 45 marks. For the OBC candidate, you need 40 marks, 40% marks. And for SC, ST, PWBD candidates, you need at least 35% marks. So what I see, this is not at all difficult examinations if you are studying regularly and if you're studying well. Okay. So the candidates who obtain this minimum qualifying marks, they are invited by the ASRB to write the mains examination, but the ratio is 1:15. So if there is a 1 seat, they will invite 15 candidates to write the examination, and this is very competitive, man. Okay, so you really need to be very good at writing the answers, and please try to minimize that mistake quotient. जो लोग ज्यादा गलतियां करेंगे वो डेफिनेटली कंपटीशन से बाहर रहेंगे, तो आपको गलतियां कम करना है. So we will see how to write mains examination in the next session, which will be happening soon in this particular webinar. So what happens in the mains, you will get like a question paper which consists of 240 marks. Out of them, 80 are like a 2 mark, 40 questions are of like a 2 marker. We call them 2 marker questions. And if you answer 2 marker question correctly, you will get 2 marks. For 1 question, 2 marks, total 80 marks. Then there will be a 20 questions of 5 marks each. So they consist of 100 marks. 1 or 2 paragraph answer or graphic explanation you need to write in this particular section. And the part C is a 6 essay type questions, or we call them like a descriptive question for 10 marks each. Okay, so we call them generally long answers. At least you scribble something for 1 page or 1.5 page, or ASRB provides a space, particular amount of space in the answer paper itself. Like you need to write, or you need to use only this much space for answering the particular question. So this is the pattern of your ARS mains. This is only for overview. We will see in detail in the next session, like how you should write for the ARS mains. So there are some cautions you really need to follow while writing ARS mains. First one, marks will not be allotted to mere superficial knowledge. See, you're writing an examination for the scientist. You're writing an examination to become a scientist. So you really need to write a thoughtful, logical answers, and not something like a UG question paper wherein you study one night for the semester end examinations, and uh, you get marks by writing the superficial answers also. So that is not up to the standard of this ASRB ARS examination. So you really need to improve the quality of your answers. You really need to improve the way you write the answers, and the credit will not be given for orderly, effective, and exact expression, uh, how to say, if something is exact expression combined with a due economy of words, then only you will get good marks. Many people, for example, when they get a question paper, they try to answer around the keyword in the particular question. I call it like beating around the bush. If there is a question of like what are the implications of a KVK system in India, so rather than answering the implications of a KVK system in India, the people spend most of the time in writing what is a KVK. So you will not get marks, you will not get credit if you write around the theme of that particular keyword. Your job is to answer. So if there is a question for 10 marks, like what are the implications of KVK, then you should be really writing about the implications itself. You are not like you should not write anything more about KVKs. And if candidates handwriting is not good, then it's a big problem. So you still have like a lot of time. You at least make your handwriting readable so that one can read it and understand it what you have written. So what I have seen, the people who are preparing for a competitive exam other than ARS, they have the edge because they keep attending some coachings and classes, online or offline, doesn't matter, and they spend most of the time in answering the question. So this answer writing habit is a key. Okay, so if you can qualify the mains, you will go for the YOC. That is an interview, and again they have that particular ratio over there. So for the one seat, they will invite at least 5 candidates, and that is according to the discretion of ISRB board. They decide like, yes, this is a appropriate ratio, and accordingly they will invite at least 5 candidates for one seat, and they will be interviewed by the board of very competent experts, unbiased expert from the respective disciplines, and they choose your suitability for this service, whether you are suitable to become scientist or not. Now what I feel, it is a really difficult task for them also to interview you for like a 10-15 minutes and make the decision whether you're suitable for a scientist or not, but they do it in a very systematic manner. So you really need to present yourself as a, how to say, a curious learner, a person who is very polite, he shows courtesy, and we will see all these aspects in detail when we will see the session for the YOC exam. And the YOC is intended to supplement the written examination for testing your general and specialized knowledge and abilities. Okay, so sometimes there are people who mug up everything and vomit in the exam, but when we ask them like come forward, ask, interact with the people, they do not have that courage. So especially if you are from the agriculture extent discipline, please show the courage to talk to the people. Do not hesitate. Okay, you are in the discipline wherein we use communication as a leverage. Okay, so you cannot stop the process of communication. Okay, and the candidate will be expected to have taken an intelligent interest not only in his own his or her own state or country, but also like what is happening with respect to your discipline at a global level. What are the discoveries and how they can, how to say, arouse the curiosity among the minds of a youth. All these aspects you need to consider when you go for the YOC. But what I feel, you can use these guidelines from the today itself to prepare for the ARS prelims and mains and YOC, because this these qualities cannot be installed in a person just like a software we install in few minutes. It takes time, it takes a while to develop these qualities. So from today itself, if you're like at some point of your time, if you're willing to write ARS NET and mains or interviews, you should be thinking like, okay, next week I will be facing the ARS interview, so I should be very curious about like what is happening in my discipline. What is the funding, what is the budget we are getting for the extension division, like how ICAR is allocating money, how much money is going for the extension research, how much money is going to the KVKs, how KVKs are working, what is the exact number of KVKs right now in India, how many posts are SMSs subject matter specialists are there in the KVKs. Like all these minute things you need to understand, and they will not like cross question you in the examination. They have given like the technique of IOC is not that of strict cross examination, but it's a natural dialogue, and through which they will have a directed and purposive conversation with you, and they will try to explore your mental abilities, whether you can grasp the problem and can you address them. When the moment you say I'm from this particular district of India, the board might start asking you. For example, when I went for my interview, I told them like I'm from the Jalgaon district, and they started asking me some questions about the banana crop, because my district is very famous for the banana cultivation. So if you are not in touch with the current dynamics or the current happening of that particular district, like banana crop is localized for like a Jalgaon district, but there are many things which are happening at the global level also, national level also, state level also. So if you're not aware about these things, you won't be answer the very basic questions. So yeah, and the most important thing they will try to investigate, or they will try to explore from your personality, is like how best you can grasp the problem. The moment you say, sir, I'm from this particular district, or I have done my master from IRI in this discipline, they will try to ask you some questions wherein they try to explore, do you know this current status of basmati rice, pusa basmati, like what's happening, and do you know what is the problem with that particular variety, that you need to answer. And if you say, अरे sir, मुझे तो पता ही नहीं कि हमारा पूसा बासमती नाम का चावल है, there is a high probability they will give you under marks. So please try to understand and please pay attention to the different details, different happenings which are taking place around you. The board will pay special attention to assessing the intellectual curiosity, critical power of assimilation, balance of judgment and alertness of mind, the ability for social cohesion, integrity of a character, initiative and capacity for leadership and scientific research. Again, this is very difficult to assess in 20 minutes or 10-15 minutes, I don't know. But if you are well prepared and if you are answering the questions in a very thoughtful, logical manner, they will definitely get overview of your personality that you possess these qualities. Okay. So whenever I tell you guys to speak up, you please speak up. Okay. This is also a very interactive session. You're very lucky that you are part of this wonderful program, and you will get an opportunity to interact with many scientists of your own discipline. When I was there in my masters and all, we never had this kind of a meetings and like a preparation strategy and things like that. Some of my seniors like Manohar sir and all, they guided me to achieve the goals in my life. But you're very lucky that you will be getting many more seniors and senior faculties to listen to. So any problem up to this? Any question up to this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Wow.
No, sir.
Very good. So we will see the strategy to pass MCQ type examination. So this strategy is mainly based on my experience. I generally recommend students to explore their own personalities. If possible, you try to conduct your own SWOT analysis. How many of you still don't know what is SWOT analysis? Yes, WOT. Everybody knows SWOT analysis?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So today, or maybe very soon, whenever you get a time, you please try to conduct this SWOT analysis for yourself. You try to explore who are you. But that is a very difficult question, like who are you? But at least you try to explore like what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and which opportunities you can harness in life, and what happens if something goes wrong in life, what are the threats to you. So basically, while preparing for these examinations, you should be capitalizing on your strengths. Like what are your strengths? You can read very fast, you can memorize figures and diagrams easily. If you mug up the definitions and some sentences from the books, they retain with you for a longer time, something like that. These are your strengths, but your weaknesses might be you have very bad handwriting, you really need to improve it. Your weakness is you don't remember information for a long time, then you need to increase the number of revisions. So accordingly, you need to first objectively identify what are your strengths and weaknesses for this particular examination in the context of this examination. So I have seen in my life, like there are many students who are bright and brilliant, but they do not have any strategy to pass the examination, and that's why they fail. I repeat this sentence. I have seen many bright students, many bright candidates who study like a 10, 12, 30, 13, 14 hours a day, but they do not pass in the examination because they spend entire time in studying and they do not spend any time in formulating strategy to pass the examination. So it doesn't matter how good you are in your studies, but please spend some time to devise your own strategy to pass the examination. For example, how you are going to pass the ARS NET or mains, like prelims, in a very short amount of time. Somebody was asking me a question, ki how we can pass. So the strategy points which I will be sharing, they are from my own experience. You are free to take whatever you like, and definitely these points will give you a new perspective. Someone's mic is not mute. Please mute yourself. They will give you a new perspective to start looking at a preparation, and you can take your preparation to the next level to pass this examination in a minimum possible efforts. So I can see and I can say these things to you because when I started preparing for my own JRF, I only studied for 50 days. And the 51st day was a day of examination. So there were students who studied agriculture extension for like 2 years, but they could not secure a good rank. But I had my own strategy. I had my own clarity, like what I'm supposed to do and how I'm going to do it. So within 51 days, I could crack the JRF exam, and that time I got 11th rank and I went to IRI for my master's. Same thing happened when we appeared for this ARS examination. It was my first attempt. It was how to say, I was not mentally prepared to pass the examination, but various factors forced me to go to the exam and write the exam, which we will discuss later if you're interested. And then in the very first attempt, I could pass the exam. So that time I was not really preparing for the ARS, but I was preparing for the PhD entrance of ICAR-IVRI, and that is also very unique and very intensively difficult examinations. It was very, how to say, a nightmare for me to pass that examination. But that particular process of preparing for the PhD entrance of ICAR-IVRI empowered me a lot to write the ARS prelims and mains in a very quickest possible way. So please, if you have that particular notion in your mind, like you need to prepare for 1 year for JRF and 3 years for ARS, please remove these hopeless barriers from your mind. If you're a curious and sincere learner, and if you know how to formulate a strategy for yourself, you can like pass this examination in a very short amount of time also. Okay, so hereafter the color of slide background will be black and the text will be yellow, because it's very irritating to have a white background slide. And mainly we will be dealing about few aspects, like how you should study for this preliminary examination, what are the tips to study, and how best you can pass the examination. So let us see one by one. So when I started my preparations for the JRF and ARS prelim, something like that, this was a phase. Like the preliminary is a multiple choice question, and the first and basic feeling is, oh my God, which one is correct? Because the way they formulate these questions, it's very tricky. So the first and foremost thing I tell students is, or the aspirants is, please develop conceptual clarity about your own subject. Please develop conceptual clarity about your own subject. Okay, and how you are going to do it? You should start from the syllabus, one by one, step by step. What to do with the syllabus? The first and foremost thing, get the current syllabus. And I told you in the beginning also, whenever they release a notification, you should read the notification in a full, line to line, word to word, like what's there, what's the change. And when you get updated syllabus, for example, you are preparing for the ARS prelims and mains 2022, the moment ASRB releases the notification, you should print it and you should keep it in front of you all the time, so that it will give your kind of a hint to your brain regularly that you need to cover these many topics in the next 2 months or 3 months or 5 months. And this is how you are going to plan your study with the help of current syllabus. Now, many students and many candidates, they simply start writing examination just because they see मेरा senior ARS पास हो गया, मेरा दोस्त साइंटिस्ट बन गया, वो अगर वो कर सकता है तो मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकता? So these are again the prejudices. See, you should be able to understand the nature of examination, what exactly that examination is about, and what that examination is needing from you. What's the need of that particular answer paper, so that you can pass the exam. But many students, they don't spend time to answer that question, like what actually exam want from you. See, you're writing an examination for the scientist, though, so somewhere you need to give that a perspective that you can think more than superficial reading. You cannot read your textbooks and your study material the way you read the newspaper. You really need to go a little bit deeper to read, because you're a scientist, and the job of scientist is not to, how to say, to do routine things. You're supposed to create something new in your life, something innovative in your life, so that aspects which will make you creative, not just in one part of your life, but in all spheres of your life. For example, if you're studying, you study creatively. If you are practicing answer writing, you do it creatively. If you are writing prelims and mains, can you be a little bit creative while answering the question? Something like that. So in all domains of your life, you can improve the creativity. Then organization. The moment you start organizing your syllabus, the moment you start organizing your books, the moment you start organizing your study material, it is aspect of organizing things. So that exam needs many things from you. Exam wants consistency from you. Exam wants curiosity from you. Exam wants that good quality answer writing from you, because in the future you are supposed to write some good books. In the future you are supposed to write some good research articles, research papers, popular articles. So they want you to be a good speaker, public speaker. But when it will happen, when you have something up here, if you don't have that particular amount of subject matter or the relevant knowledge with you, you cannot be able to go in front of a farmers or other audiences and speak confidently. And that is why you start to spend some time to understand, like, what exactly that examination wants from me. and maybe you will get answer that you are not suitable for this examination. Right? So you try to understand your personality. For example, if you feel that your personality is good for personal, for example, police officer or something, or bureaucrat, you go for that particular field. If you understand like your personality is good to become a scientist, you have these traits of to become a good scientist, you write this exam. If you feel that you are good for the banking job, you do the banking job. Okay, and this is a very important phase. Otherwise, मेरे दोस्त का ARS हो गया, मैं भी किया, एंड आफ्टर दैट होल लाइफ यू विल बी, अरे यार अच्छा होता मैं MPSC कर लेता, अरे अच्छा होता मैं UPSC कर लेता, अरे अच्छा होता मैं कुछ और कर लेता. That sin should not come in your life. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, if you are decided that you will be writing NET or ARS in your life, then the next most important phase is you start collecting a quality material. And the material for the preparation, it consists of some books, notes, your own like previous year question papers. So all these things, they are a little bit difficult to get, but not impossible. I was lucky to get admission into ICAR-IVRI, and we had a very nice bookstall over there, which can provide me all sorts of books related to extension, agricultural extension. So yeah, you can take a list of books from your senior, and you can call that particular Pusa bookshop. And nowadays it's very easy to purchase the books online mode. You send him money by phone pay, and you will get all the essential books. But what is dangerous? You don't read book. Many people do not read the books. Like in the UG courses also, some, like in my time when I was there in 2004 to 2008, it was a very fantastic trend to photocopy some notes and then study. And now I realize how disastrous it was. If you're in the bachelor, if you're in the master, please start reading books. Okay, it is a foundation for your career. And sometimes, in order to develop clarity or understanding, it is good habit to prepare your own note so that you can retain the information for a long time. And in the future, you can exchange the notes with your friends, and you can refer some of the notes prepared by your seniors. So this is also a good habit, because we have our own perspective when we read, and we decode the meaning of what we read according to our own mental ability. So sometimes we do not understand the crux from that particular topic, or we interpret it in a very different manner. And that's why when I was preparing for my JRF, I will read the book, I will read my own notes, I will do everything by my own. But I used to refer the notes of my senior, Dr. Shivaji Argade, who is in CFA Mumbai, just to see whether we are on the same page or not, or whether I'm understanding this textual material in the same spirit or not. So that cross-checking was done just to understand whether I'm able to understand the things in a right manner or not. So many people don't do it, but be smart and do it. Then if possible, you try to get some question papers. When you see the previous year question paper, you get a lot of confidence, because if you can answer some questions from them, it gives you a sense of confidence that yes, without studying, I could answer 10-15 questions. It means that if I study, I can definitely answer 50% of questions, 60% of questions correctly. So once again, I'm telling you, like, start reading and trusting this standard textbook. Many students don't do it, but if you are student of agriculture extension discipline, and if you wish to spend your entire life, at least your entire career, pertaining to agricultural extension field, then please start buying your own books. Okay, nowadays like there are many good fellowships which give that contingency fund to students so that they can buy some books. And rather than watching or spending your money on Netflix and mobile and this thing, if you can buy some good books, they will be a huge investment for you, because you can keep that book with you throughout your life. And when you start highlighting certain sections from that particular book, when you start scribbling some notes on the book itself, it's your permanent asset. So in the future also, if you want to go and revise something, you don't have to read the entire page or chapter. Whenever you see those highlighted words and some scribbled words across the page, you get the entire idea of that particular chapter or that particular concept. Just a question, are you able to hear me clearly, or is there an issue?
Yes, sir, we can hear. Clear audio.
Very clear.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
very good. Now there is one more disorder which I saw in the hostels when students start preparing. That disorder is called rushing for the notes from the successful senior. अरे वो मेरा दोस्त है, वो उधर ARS हो गया, भाग रहे उसके पीछे अरे सर आपका notes का photocopy करके दो. No, you don't need. You need only few good tips and tricks from that particular person, and if he can advise you some good things, and that's it. Okay, just 1 second please. There was some screen disconnection issue. Yeah, I think you can see the screen again. So please do not rush for the notes from the successful senior. अरे वो उसका हो गया, मैं उसके पीछे भाग रहा हूँ. Or do not even blame yourself कि मुझे मेरे सीनियर ने वो notes नहीं दिया इसलिए मुझे मैं पास नहीं हुआ. No, it's not like that. You need notes from your side only. Otherwise, in future, you will start blaming the seniors कि सर आपने मुझे गलत नोट्स दे दिया इसके लिए मैं फेल हो गया. So you be, how to say, just a moment, something is wrong with my computer system. Yeah, can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so please trust your own notes. Sometimes what happens, I have seen, when I brought some notes from my seniors, they were having some mistakes, or there were few things which were not properly written or interpreted. Oh no, what's happening? Yeah, today is a day of problems. I'm very sorry. Something is wrong with the connection, and this display is just a second. Yeah, you prepare your own notes and trust them. That's the point I wanted to make over here. And then the next important thing, always keep your dictionary or your atlas or things. Shit. Just a second, I think I will disconnect my laptop from the system. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Just give me a second. I don't know why this is creating problem today. Yeah, these computing resources are very annoying sometimes. Sorry for this inconvenience. Yeah. So can you see the screen now? Are you able to see the
Yes,
presentation?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Just ein momento. I'm coming back. Yeah. Okay. Those who want, they can keep their cameras on. Okay. Now, always keep that dictionary with you. See, most of us are not from the good English language background, and we have difficulties in understanding and interpreting things. So even if you're using mobile dictionary, that's perfectly fine. But keep these resources with you. Many people, they do not organize their study table, and that's the one problem. They don't get enough motivations to study and interpret the things in the right manner. If you're preparing for the competitive exam, it doesn't matter which one. I highly recommend you to have this Orient Longman Atlas with you, because in the introduction itself, I have made this point that you need to understand few things at a global level. You need to understand these discipline related matters at a national level, international level, what's happening at the state level. So whenever you study something which has a geographical context, you should be able to look into your map, like where it is. Okay. I would like to quote a very famous example of my friend who was preparing JRF in the agronomy discipline, and that particular year there was a question like this International Potato Research Center is located in which city, and there were 4 options. So generally he studied like a Peru, but there was no Peru option, there was a Lima. So he could not hit the correct answers. He skipped that question, and then he started complaining कि sometime ICAR गलत सवाल पूछता है. मैंने कहा भाई क्या हुआ? तो बोलता है वो पेरू में है, वो पेरू तो था ही नहीं. Then I told him, yeah, actually वो पेरू तो उसका बड़ा टाउन का नाम हो गया ना, जो भी है वो लीमा करके है गांव का नाम, वहां पे होगा. Then वो क्लिक हुआ कि अरे लीमा था वहां पे, मैं क्लिक नहीं किया. So these things might happen with you also. So whenever you prepare about this competitive exam, you try to go a little bit deeper, and that geographical understanding is very important, because you need to visualize what happens if you make particular decision at a state level, national level, and a global level. Okay. So this is one tip for you. Now you have all the material with you, you have atlas with you, you have dictionary with you, material, notes, syllabus, everything with you. Now how to start preparation? Many people ask this question. I tell them only one thing: just read, read, and read. If you complete the reading, just read it again, because for the prelims you need a conceptual understanding, and in order to develop conceptual understanding, reading is very important. When I started preparing my JRF studies, I started reading that agricultural economics book written by Subba Reddy and Raghuram, something like that. So Subba Reddy is the like a first author, it seems. So when I started reading that book, for the first reading, it took me more than 15 days. But when I started reading it again and again, I developed a kind of conceptual clarity about that book. And a day before examination, I could revise the entire book within 1.5 hours. So that's the quality of good reading. That's the advantage of quality reading. So this is how you really need to read your books, the textbook or the standard material books which are recommended by your seniors. Read them again and again. And the moment you go for the second reading, you derive additional meaning out of the same passage, additional meaning out of the same concept. And then you realize, okay, पहली बार तो ये थोड़ा ठीक से नहीं पता चला था. And you know that economic subject, because it has a very peculiar language, increasing at decreasing rate, decreasing at increasing rate, and for the undergraduate students, it's very confusing. So in order to develop that conceptual clarity, you please start reading again and again, because for each and every concept, for each and every paragraph, for each and every definition, there are some keywords. So you start identifying those keywords, like what is a keyword for me? If I'm reading this particular definition, what is a keyword? because I see those keywords as a keys to success. For example, when I was preparing for my JRF examination, my concept was clear about one thing, like it's only MCQ. They will not ask me to write definition of agricultural economics or a definition of economics in the question paper, but they might ask like who gave this particular definition. So I started reading the definitions in such a way that I could recognize the keywords. Okay, this measuring rod of money is given by Pegu or something like that. And then I started correlating these keywords with the name of author or the economist who gave that definition. And this is how it really helped me in answering these MCQ questions in the main exam. Because um, if you can remember the keyword, and if you can link the keyword with another keywords, you can develop that particular concept or conceptual clarity in your mind. So I recommend you to use the different coloring tools when you read, highlighters, color paints, or pencil, whatever suits to you. And sometimes just by seeing the quality of what you highlight in your book, one can judge whether you are going to pass the exam or not. There was one legendary junior of mine. When I told him to highlight the important sections of a book, he came back to me after 2 months and he shown the book to me. It was highlighted from like chapter 1 to last word of the book. And that is very annoying. Like मैंने कहा भाई only highlighter का use होता है only keywords को highlight करने के लिए, पूरा definition का definition, पूरा book का book highlight नहीं करना होता है. So you should be very judicious to highlight things, because if there is like a page in front of you from your book, you should not be highlighting the entire page. Only few words, the few important words, concepts you should be highlighting, and you can use the color paints to scribble few things on that particular page itself. It gives you a lot of how to say help when you go for the revision, because once you recognize something written in your own handwriting, you grasp it automatically with a great speed. Okay. So while preparing for this prelim examination, you really need to develop a habit to write down. I know this is not an answer writing examination, but still you need to write down few things such as important statements, maybe definitions or the keywords or the cluster of words from the concept, some important dates, because they ask chronology, personalities, short forms, then your chronologies, hierarchies, relationships, formulas, theorem, mini diagram, flow charts, and your own opinion about that particular topic, if you have one, if you can develop one. So this habit gives you an edge in all phases of examination. For example, in the prelims also, in the mains, while writing answer also, in the interview, your answer will be completely different when you sit in front of a panel and tell them like your own opinion about that particular topic. So this is how you are going to make a difference in examination. Okay. So please understand one more thing. When I am telling you to do this thing, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि रंगोली बनाते बैठना है. Some genius friends of mine, they spent like 3 years of their UG in preparing notes for the JRF exam, and there was no time to study and prepare strategy and to revise the material, and they could not secure a good rank in the JRF. See, that is the problem. Okay, this notes preparation and studying should go hand to hand, but like if you spend 90 minutes for reading, spend 10 minutes for writing or scribbling down these important statements and all these things. And it doesn't mean that you start writing sentences by sentences and word by word in your notes. No, that's useless. And design your own tricks to remember, memorize, and recall. Okay, studying is not only, how to say, the conceptual clarity, but in order to have that ability to answer, or the ability to reproduce the particular answer in the examination, you need to remember, memorize, and recall the information whenever you need it. So please derive your own tricks. Some people use short form, some people use long form, some people create a diagram, some people create flow chart. आपको जो अच्छा लगता है मेरे भाई वो करो. Nowadays there is one simple habit or a trick which I tell many people. आपका मोबाइल दो, if it is a smartphone, it has got a recording feature. आप जो कुछ पढ़ रहे हो उसका एक समरी बनाओ, उसका एक सिंथेसिस बनाओ, उसको उस मोबाइल फोन में रिकॉर्ड कर लो. फॉर एग्जांपल, today you are studying a chapter about KVKs. You read that chapter 3, 4, or 5 times, then you strike, how to say, then you highlight the keywords from that particular chapter. Okay, then you take your mobile phone and you read the sentences which has that keywords or the important messages or important statements. Like KVK's definition is this: the first KVK was established in this particular district. These are the objectives of a KVK. These are the mandates of a KVK. This is the structure of a KVK. And any other point which you think is relevant. And once you record all the thing about KVK, you save it in your phone. And the moment you go outside, maybe on your bike or while going to the college or while going to the maze, you put on your headphone, don't listen and cry while listening that Arijit Singh song. You listen the KVK song you listen that what you have studied. And this is an approach to propel the information which you are studying and reading in your permanent memory. Because if you read something today and if you memorize it or if you revise it again within next 48 hours, the chances are more that it goes to your permanent memory. So if you wish to store information in your permanent memory, read one chapter 5 times, prepare highlights, notes on the book itself or the notes itself, then record it on your mobile, the keywords, and listen it immediately on the same day or maybe next day morning or before going to bed, or I don't know, wherever you get the time. So this is how you're going to propel the information in your permanent memory. It will help you to reproduce the answers. And then develop a skill to manage your studies in time. See, if I am telling you to study, it doesn't mean that you are not living your life, you're not calling to your parents, you're not eating and you're only studying. No. You're a social scientist. You have to study while doing each and everything in your life. If you ask my contemporary people from ICAR-IVRI, my seniors and my juniors and my batchmates, entire day I was running here and there. For example, I was a student, I was a member of that particular postgraduate school student union. I was working very hard to establish All India Agriculture Student Association. I was a part of a cultural team and this cultural committee. Then I was associated with all the celebrations and festivals in the university, like IRI, as well as my own division. Entire day I was speaking and going here and there. I was attending classes, and while doing so, I was a topper in the division on its when I was there in IRI. So the students who were studying inside their room, they could not get marks which I could get, because I have that particular skill to manage my study in time and to devote my time for the other social and cultural and all type of activity, because I told one thing to myself again and again, that I am a social scientist. Okay, so if you can believe on it, on that particular phrase, you can do anything in your life. Okay, so when I talk about management of your time, you cannot manage the time. You really need to adjust yourself according to the clock. Okay, so have those particular amount of productive hours every day in your life, wherein you study, you write, you memorize, you rewrite, you revise, all those things. Do not compromise with this schedule. Okay, and if possible, have a several number of revisions. किसी को ये मत बोलो कि मेरे 2 रिवीजन हो गए, अब तो मेरा सब कुछ हो गया, और 2 कर लो, क्या हो रहा है. Okay, so whatever the material you have, your notes which you have prepared, or the books wherein you have scribbled, your atlas, your dictionary, whatever you have, you try to revise that material again and again. If you think you're confident about this particular chapter, you have done the revision maybe 3-4 times, you strike that particular syllabus word from the syllabus which you have printed. For example, today you studied about KVK, you revised it and you listened it, and you have pasted the syllabus in front of you. You delete, you strike down that word, that KVK chapter is already completed. So every day, if you can complete 1, 2, 3, or at least 1 or 2 chapter those syllabus keywords, you will find that within 2 or 3 months you can cover the entire syllabus systematically. And this is how you are going to revise. Okay, and once you keep deleting the things like mera syllabus se ye ho gaya hai, ye ho gaya hai, ye ho gaya hai, it will give you enormous amount of confidence. Like you're studying, like once you start studying, you can do anything in your life. Okay, so revision of material and your notes is very important. And I tell this golden rule to students and aspirants again and again: quality material multiplied by number of revision is equal to increased chances of success. Quality material multiplied by number of revision is equal to increased chances of success. This is a very simple formula, and if you follow it regularly, you can achieve success in all domains of a competitive examination. But while doing it, you really need to filter the information or the sources you have. Always try to understand and identify what I should not read. Okay, everybody gets syllabus, everybody gets books, everybody gets notes and access to the material, but the genius people, the bright people who are going to pass the examination in a very systematic way, they know one thing very clearly, like what I should not read. Okay, so what you should not read, किसी ने फोटोकॉपी करके आपको दे दिया और पकड़ा दिया, अरे ये तमिलनाडु यूनिवर्सिटी से नोट्स आया है, इसे पढ़ लो, अरे ये अभी पंतनगर से आया है, सारे क्वेश्चन इससे आएंगे, इसको ये पढ़ लो. Don't do that kachara thing. Okay, for the prelims, this is again very important advice for you: do not mug up everything. You are not supposed to mug up the things. Okay, because even if you can mug up everything, it will take a lot of time. But if you don't have the conceptual understanding, then you won't be able to logically answer the MCQs. And therefore, understanding of concepts, figures, your graphs, equation, definition, examples, references, theories, this is more beneficial. Someone's mic is unmute. Mute yourself. Someone's mic is unmute. Please mute yourself. The next one is spare enough time when you start preparation, if possible, to attend time-bound model test, group discussion, and solving objectives. This is one good approach to boost your confidence and to develop that understanding whether you can attend 150 questions in 2 hours or not. And if not, then what should be your strategy to attend maximum number of questions in a short amount of time. I have seen many people, many students, and many aspirants who could not pass the exam just because of one factor. Are sir, time नहीं हुआ. Are sir, time कम पड़ गया. Ashish Kumar Nagar, mute yourself. Okay. मैं बोल रहा हूं कि किसी का माइक ऑन है, अपने अपना माइक को देखो यार. Time bound model test gives you a confidence about time management, whether you can attend 150 questions in 2 hours or not. And this is very essential if you do not have that particular how to say experience of reading 150 questions in 2 hours and then marking correct answers. So some people, or not some, many people panic when they see the question paper. And for example, out of 150, they hardly attend 40 questions in first hour, then 30 questions in a second, and they panic. अरे अभी तो आधा घंटा बचा है, अभी तो और 50 क्वेश्चन करना बाकी है, 60 क्वेश्चन करना बाकी है. Please don't do it. You start making that strategy, like for 2 hours, 150 question, then how many I'm going to solve in first hour. Okay, then how many I'm going to solve in the second hour, something like that. Your own strategy matters. Then if possible, please go for a group discussion. See, once you start speaking on that particular topic, like what you learned about KVK, and when you tell it to 10 people or your aspirants, fellow friends and teammates, you develop even more clarity, because teaching is the best way of learning. So if you can spend some time for a group discussion, even if it is online or something, you do it. And yeah, there are many good objective books, or there's sets of objective things you will get in a market now, wherein you can solve the objective, but do not trust the correct answers from those MCQ, ready-made MCQ objective books, because sometimes the answers are misleading and they can create massive confusion in your brain. And while studying for the prelims in the last week, you should dedicate that last week exclusively for the revision. You should not read something new in that last week. किसी ने बोल दिया, this is a strategy by many how to say fickle minded students. अरे ये तो मेरे दोस्त का बहुत अच्छा पढ़ाई हो गया है, अभी मैं रुको, अगर अगर मुझे ऊपर जाना है तो उसको नीचे लाना होगा. So that is why they will send you some book कि अरे ये तो पढ़ना important है, अभी अभी पता चला है, मेरे दिल्ली के सीनियर ने दिया है. And maybe they will give you the most useless book or most useless notes, and you will stop doing your own revision and you will spend time to read it. Don't do it. Okay. 1 week before exam, exclusively for revision, and 1 day before exam, बस आराम करो, जस्ट रिलैक्स करो, अपनी एनर्जी स्टोर करो, आंखें बंद करके एक बार सोचो कि हमने कितना पढ़ाई किया है, कैसे किया है, कितना अच्छे से हुआ है. And I call it like sharpen the weapons for battle phase. अपना पेन, पेंसिल, इरेजर, whatever it is, उसको रेडी करके रखो. आई कार्ड वगैरह जो भी लगता है, इन सब चीजों को आप रेडी करके रखो. And when you really go in the exam hall, preliminary exam देने के लिए, आपको लिटरली वो रिलैक्स फीलिंग होती है ना, जैसे बीच पे आ गए, वो फीलिंग के जाना है. स्ट्रेस में नहीं जाना है, अरे यार मेरा क्या होगा, मेरा लास्ट चांस है, मेरा तो ये है, मेरा फैमिली में मेरा शादी करा देंगे, मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड भाग जाएगी, ये सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ के एकदम रिलैक्स मूड में जाना है. दीपक क्या स्क्रिबल कर रहे हो बच्चा, ये डिलीट करो. जस्ट हैव अ फ्रेंड, just have your friends with you and have some fun with them. This is very important to relax your brain. Okay, and forget everything about exam. खाली पीली वो रणछोड़दास चांचड़ नहीं, रणछोड़दास चांचड़ नहीं, वो चतुर रामलिंगम बन के नहीं घूमना एग्जाम हॉल में. ओके, सो आपको एक चीज करना है, आपका जो ब्रेन है उसको एग्जाम के पहले एकदम हैप्पी रखना है, सो दैट द मोमेंट यू गेट अ क्वेश्चन पेपर, आपका ब्रेन फुल एनर्जी से आपके साथ रहे. ओके, तो फालतू का स्ट्रेस कतई नहीं लेना है. डोंट टेक एनी स्ट्रेस अननेसेसरीली and read instructions carefully. The moment you get a question paper, you start reading those instructions carefully. Many people don't read the instruction, वो simply jump करते हैं questions के ऊपर की, question क्या है, मेरा है कि नहीं है, मेरा आया है कि नहीं है. You be systematic, never lose your calm. पहले उसका पूरा instruction पढ़ लो, कोई नेगेटिव मार्किंग का रूल चेंज हुआ है क्या, टाइम लिमिट चेंज हुआ है क्या, हर चीज को आप ठीक से, and then only you proceed for how to say answering the question. Now this particular slide is only for JRF because they get this match the pair section, but in case if you get match the pair section in your examination, then I tell many students to answer this match the pair section in the beginning, because this is a huge confidence booster. I'm telling you my own experience. When I started writing this JRF examination, I was the one who studied for a very less amount of time. But when I started attempting this match the pair section, within first like 10-15 minutes, I could solve all the pairs, match the pair sections correctly. And I was so confident, मैंने कहा 50 मार्क का तो हो गया, अभी बाकी का करना है. So this is how you boost your confidence. Okay, don't lose your confidence in exam. It is a time-saving one. Like as I told you, in 10-15 minutes I could solve everything, and I got assured marks for them. So this is really amazing, like how I planned and how I strategized my exams. So you also should have that kind of particular notion of developing your own strategy while writing this competitive exam. Now there is one more strategy, like how to answer this question in this question paper. So what I did, I took 3 rounds. This is my favorite strategy. While attempting the MCQs, I took 3 rounds of the question paper. The first round, the confirm. I would read the question, and if I know the confirm answer, I will hit only those. In the second round, I would only go to the questions wherein I had that 50-50 confidence. So I needed time to read the question, to check the options, and then to make a decision like which one I'm going to take. And in the third round, I attempted the risky questions. I call them rank determining questions because many students, many aspirants don't pick them, and that's why they get less mark. But if you're a thoughtful person, if you can, how to say, you can spend little bit more time to attempt those risky questions in a very confident manner, they can help you to get good ranks, better ranks in this competitive examination. Okay, so this is also mainly for the JRF because they get rank system in the, like there is no prelim, it's only MCQ based exam. But when it comes to your NET or ARS prelim, you can use the same strategy. They are not rank determinants for you, but they are the one which will give you ticket to write the mains examination. Okay, so you try to do these things in a very smart manner. And what you should do, please don't think too much when you read the question. Your first honest intuition to answer that question is probably the most correct answer. But what many people do, they do khichdi in the examination. They, once they attempt something, like for example, they attend question number 1, and after 10 minutes again they start thinking on it. Arey yaar, maine uska to aisa likha, shayad ye bhi ho sakta hai. And then they again go back to that question and वो पहला वाला delete करके दूसरे का scribble करते हैं. So these things happened when we got this OMR, optical mark reader sheets, but nowadays it's online, and I don't know whether you can change the answers or not. But in order to remove this disorder, please follow that 1, 2, 3 round strategy. In the first round, attempt confirm one. In the second round, go for the 50-50. In the third round, go for the risky question. And once you have done something, do not look back or do not read that question again. Okay. And this is again, if there is a OMR sheet and you are supposed to darken the circle with a pencil, and even if you are doing this with a computer's online test, when you read the question and you see the answers options, you confirm the answer first. Like for question number 1, the correct answer is 3. The pronounce that accurate number in your brain and then darken the circle, or you click on the appropriate option tab. There are many people who get less mark because of a human error. Even if they knew what is the correct answer, they darken the wrong circle or they click on the wrong option, and that is a problem. Okay, and you can spend few microseconds to check whether you have clicked on right question or not. Okay, that cross checking you can do. Now in this prelim or in this MCQ based exam, utilize your time judiciously. Utilize your time judiciously. And if still there is some time, you can check your answer sheet, whether you have, if you, in case you have the OMR sheet. But I'm not sure how you are going to answer this computer based test, because once you submit it, you get a score immediately. And I think that is a good thing. You don't have to wait for the results. And yeah, that's all from my side regarding this MCQ type of examination. In the next sessions, we will talk about how to prepare for mains, how to study for mains, how to create notes and everything for mains and interview as well. If you wish to stay in contact with me, I request you to get in touch via LinkedIn. If you don't have good profile on LinkedIn, you please create new one or update your existing profile in a professional manner. Okay, don't send friend request to professional like without photo profile or with some stupid name profile. Use your good name, proper name, as the way it is printed on the documents. And yeah, that's what I could tell you, because you are the future of my discipline, and we will try our best to groom you. With these particular words, I wish you all the best for all your future endeavors and the competitive exams which you are willing to appear soon, just remember my name, Dr. Amol Bhalerao, so that you can search me on YouTube as well as on LinkedIn. So that's all from my side for this today's session. If you have any questions, queries, we still have almost 30 minutes to discuss. Okay. Kya hai question? How to collect previous question paper, sir? Please suggest book for preparation. Yeah, you will get book list. Don't worry. I will send it to Manor sir, and it will be shared soon. Where to collect ARS prelims and mains previous year question paper, sir? Please suggest. See what we did. We contacted our seniors for this question paper, and they told like there are some books, there are some MCQ type of books and general agriculture type of booklets which are sold at that IRI Pusa shop. At the back of that particular booklet, they used to publish this like few years question paper, and you don't need like a 10 years question paper. Even if you have access to 1 or 2 question paper, that's more than enough. So in case you have any good friend in IRI or IVRI or NDRI campus, they can share this previous year question papers with you. Okay. Yeah. Sir, class schedule. I don't know what's class schedule. That you will get from the Manor sir. Yeah. Any other question? अरे नो क्वेश्चन. क्या हो गया आप लोग को? समझ नहीं आया कि सब पूरा बाउंसर था? Everyone turn on your camera. I need to make a photograph for the record. Everyone turn on your camera. Just wait. I need to make 2 photographs because there are multiple pages. Now we will go to the second page. Please turn on your cameras, people from the second page. अरे इतने स्मार्ट तो लग रहे हो सबके सब. कैमरा ऑन करो. क्या हो गया तुम लोग को? मेकअप नहीं करके आए क्या तुम लोग? इनको थोड़ा थोड़ा हाईलाइट. इनको थोड़ा
ऑन योर कैमरा. यस.
थोड़ा थोड़ा हाईलाइट.
ऑन योर कैमरा.
क्या बच्चे रे. अबे तुम लोग दोस्ती करना भी नहीं जानते ना इतने. पता नहीं एक्सटेंशन डिसिप्लिन में आ गए. There are 2 types of extension professionals: the people who choose extension discipline by passion. There are people who prepare for some other subject, they get let mark in JRF, और अबे कुछ नहीं मिला, अभी extension मिल गया. So the future of extension will be decided by the people who join the discipline by passion. So please decide, you are here by passion or by some problem and fault. Okay, we really need passionate people to improve. Yeah, choice by chance. Rather than chance, we say accident. Yes, if you are here by choice, you are my good friend. Yeah, I will be happy to have you in my network. Okay. Yeah. So what are your questions? Please ask one by one. देखो, कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है. सबके साहब 6 महीने में साइंटिस्ट बन जाएंगे. वेरी गुड. आई एम करेंटली. अच्छा, आप इधर चैट बॉक्स में डाल रहे हो? क्या डाल रहा है? रुको, आपको बात नहीं करनी ना इंटरव्यू में. ऐसे ही उसको बोलना, सर आपका व्हाट्सएप नंबर दो, आई विल टेक्स्ट यू द आंसर, यू रीड इट एंड गिव मी द फुल मार्क्स. आई एम करंटली डूइंग पीजी, एम आई एलिजिबल फॉर ARS? अरे भर दो ना फॉर्म. कब आएगा नोटिफिकेशन किसको पता है? जब आएगा तब भर दो. आई एम करेंटली डूइंग पीजी, आई एम एलिजिबल. या अरे फॉर्म तो भर दो. क्या होता है? एक बार जाके देख के ना कैसे होता है एग्जाम. आपके कैटेगरी पे डिपेंड करता है कि आपको कितने अटेम्प्ट्स मिलते हैं. ओके, अगर आपको लगता है पढ़ाई हो गई, यू आर एलिजिबल, तब तक आपका मेंस हो जाएगा, तो भर दो. ओके. और एनी अदर क्वेश्चन, एनी अदर डिफिकल्टी? देखो, एक छोटे बच्चे को पढ़ाते हैं ना, एक छोटे बच्चे को बोलते हैं ना, मैंने उस लेवल से आपको एक्सप्लेन करके बताया. ये मेरा काम नहीं है, लेकिन जब मनोहर सर बोलते हैं ना कि भाई हमारे बच्चों को अच्छे से बताओ, तो मैं जितना हो सके उतना अच्छे से बताता हूँ. है ना। तो अगर आपको थैंक यू देना है तो मनोहर सर को देना है, क्योंकि उनका वर्ड का रिस्पेक्ट है, इसलिए सब होता है। आपको ऐसे बहुत सारे सीनियर्स मिलेंगे जो सामने नोट्स होगी वो देंगे नहीं आपको। अभी तक आपको शायद वो खट्टा मीठा एक्सपीरियंस नहीं आया है ना। सर, कैन यू प्लीज से इट इन इंग्लिश? या इफ यू फील दैट the notification will be out soon, and by the more time you will write the mains examination, you will complete your master's degree. So it is a good strategy to fill the form. Okay, see, because of this corona and because of this pandemic, many times the exams get postponed. Okay, so the first good thing is you are saying you're currently doing PG, but for example, if you are in the second year, I'm not sure whether you are in the first year, second year, which semester, but if you're in the second semester, you should be definitely filling the form. Okay, how to avoid confusion? Yeah, if you're in the second year, then you should definitely fill the form, because there are like higher chances that by the time you get a result of a net, you will be completing your masters, and you will be eligible for writing mains also. How to avoid confusion caused due to multiple sources, that is many books. See, Mr. Bhatt, what happens? You try to read, Mr. or Miss Bhatt, I don't know, but your name is Bhatt only. So you try to read the quality textbook. Okay, you try to read quality textbook for each and every subject, and each and every syllabus. How to say the keyword from the syllabus? For example, there is a keyword by the name of organizational leadership. So you can read it from the Adivi Reddy book or any other normal book, or you can choose the book written by some good or recommended by some good foreign author. And after reading that particular organizational leadership chapter, you can go on the YouTube and you can watch one or two good videos regarding organizational leadership. It will give you the clarity, and it's your job to develop the high level clarity for each and every concept. Okay, so revision, time to time reading, that is also one way. Okay, once you start reading the book, after reading few pages, you will realize like how authentic that book is, and whether your understanding is getting compatible with that book or not. Okay, so many a times we recommend like read Foundations for Behavioral Research, a book written by Kerlinger, very classical book. But many students, they don't get anything from that book. They say, अरे सर आपने क्या नाम बता दिया, उसमें तो पता नहीं, पूरा confusion है, क्या पढ़ना है क्या नहीं है. So selective reading, आपको पूरा book नहीं पढ़ना है. That selective reading is important. You need to read selected chapters and selected portions from that book. Okay. Which material we should refer to or collect net exam other than? Yeah, you should be reading some one or two good general agriculture book. It would be really nice if you can have the handbook of ICR and read it at least once. If time permits, you try to read this good classical research methodology books. Okay, written by Fred and Kerlinger. There are some training manuals or good manuals written by the staff of IARI that you can read. Is there any chance of getting seat in IRI for MSc if we pursue degree from non-ICR college? That I don't know by. आप आपके कॉलेज से पूछो और आपके टीम साहब से बात करो, IRI से भी एक बार बात कर लो. Sir, there are many topics as mentioned in the syllabus where we cannot find either in books or in internet. Sometimes we get distracted from topic in the search of topic. Yeah, that's very natural. What you can do, you can write one email to Manohar sir with those topics कि sir हमको ये नहीं मिल रहा है. Then we can have a group discussion with all of you on those topics, what to study, what not to study, how to study. That can be done. Okay. Any other question? Any other difficulty? Any other difficulty, guys?
No, sir.
Yeah, you asked question in the beginning, Tenia. Are your questions answered?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Yes, Jason, do you still have any question, buddy? UGC has made PhD mandatory. Don't worry about UGC. If you get in the recent notification, you get like masters as a eligibility for ARS. Okay, so you fill the form, you write and pass ARS, and as an in-service candidate, you do your PhD the way I did. Okay, it's very easy. Like you should be really doing your PhD when you are in-service candidate. Okay, you should get how to say salary as well as funding, full scholarship from the government. Okay, and this is a really nice phase because once you get into service for like 2-3 years, you develop that perspective like what I should do in future, and then your institute helps you directly or indirectly to choose a very good PhD topic for you. Then you help yourself to get very good funding for you and go to abroad. We organize different seminars for this topic also, and we recommend like you should, if you have done your masters in India, bachelor and master, then you should definitely do your PhD in foreign country. Then you will definitely get good connections and networking in future. Okay, so please don't worry. Rules and regulations are the favorite sports in this country. Don't play too much with them. Sir, after how many years of service we can go for in service studies? See, for the first 2 years you cannot go because that's the minimum amount of time you need to clear your probation. The moment you get a letter from your office that your probation has been cleared, you can start applying for the PhD. So generally like 3 years. Okay, but if your director is good, if you have good relation with the staff and director Saab, you can request him, sir, it would be really nice if you allow me to do my PhD on this topic. And in the ICR, there are many directors who are very supportive to the youngsters. Our DG Saab is also very supportive to the youngsters. He had the special meetings, online meeting in the last month, just to interact with the young scientists of the ICR. So many things are happening in the ICR on a very positive note, and this change is very good for you if you are willing to stay in ARS system. So don't worry about like how many years and all. If you get opportunity to write and pass ARS, do it. Okay, then you go for your PhD. We will be always there to help you, support you, guide you. Just don't ask for the money. I am also having financial crisis right now in my life. Yeah, any other question? Sir, will you please organize the webinars on how to get mission abroad? अरे भाई, just now we did. हर महीने 1-2 होता है. मैं इसलिए तो बोल रहा हूँ मुझे नेटवर्किंग लिंक्डइन पे फॉलो करो. ये हेम प्रकाश वर्मा जी ने अभी आयोजित किया था रायपुर से, IGKV रायपुर से. उसमें 28 या समथिंग 25% स्टूडेंट्स ऑल ओवर कंट्रीज से थे, डिफरेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज से थे. So you will get ample opportunity, but that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Now you don't know how to make friendship. You don't know how to get in network with the people. You really don't have that networking skill spirit. Okay. आप उसको सबसे पहले तैयार करो. आपका नेटवर्क, खुद का नेटवर्क तैयार करो. You should be how to say, knowing a person is a different, and establishing network with a person is a completely different. Okay. तो थोड़ा सा है ना, सब्सक्राइब करना सीखो, लोगों के साथ दोस्ती बनाना सीखो. या एनीथिंग एल्स? Mr. Bhatt, can you please tell me your name, because I still don't know what's your name. And yeah, how can we answer the analytical part questions, and all those 4 options are almost similar? Yeah, that's the risk you get, man, when you write competitive examinations. You try to answer some model questions, you try to write mock test, and then only you can develop that perspective, like how to deal with the questions which look similar. Okay, that cannot be taught to you in tutorial classes. That's the skill, that's the intuition which you will develop by yourself. Mr. Bhatt, or I still don't know whether to call you Miss or Miss Bhatt. Yeah. Irtika Bhatt. Okay, it seems. Yeah, Miss Irtika. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Yeah. Okay. Any question? I'm still here. Any clarification you want? Chalo, ठीक है. The floor I'm handing over to Manor sir. Sir, please.
Thank you, Amol, for guiding our students. It is a very nice gesture from your side for agreeing to come over and giving your valuable time and guiding our students. I contacted you at 11th hour, so I contacted very late, but you immediately agreed. On behalf of the Postgraduate Institute, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith, I am very much thankful to you for coming over here online and guiding our students on how to prepare for JRF, SRF prelims as well as NET ARS prelims examinations.
Sir.
Whatever the tips and guidance you have given, it is very much valuable, and it is very invaluable that it cannot be obtained from anywhere else. So even you have told them to use YouTube, but it will not be available on YouTube also. So I am very much thankful to you for guiding our students, and definitely we will like to call you to guide our students for on another topics as well. So
Sure,
I
sir.
am also thankful. Yes. Yes, Amol.
I will be there, sir.
So that is your greatness. So on behalf of Postgraduate Institute, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith, and personal on behalf of myself also and my Department of Agriculture Extension and Communication, once again I am very much thankful to you, and I am also thankful to all our dear participants for attending this program online and listening Dr. Amol very attentively. But I will request you to be interactive, not just with Dr. Amol, but also whoever the expert comes. No, you have to interact with them. Until and unless you interact with them, it will not be that much helpful to you, because the expert will come with his preparations, and he will tell whatever he thinks it is important to tell to you. But it is ultimately it is you who knows that what is your need, and until and unless you express it through interacting with the experts, they may not be able to guide you properly on a particular aspect. So please be interactive, not just in chatting. Use your microphones, use your videos, and you people are extensionists. We people are extensionists. So be like an extensionist. Okay. With this, I am very much thankful to you, all of you. Do join in the afternoon session. Okay. Afternoon session, K. Ponuswamy sir from National Dairy Research Institute will be with us. He will be guiding us on self-help groups and group approaches and different programs. Okay. So please do join in the afternoon session. Thank you, Amol, once again.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye. Have a good day, sir. See you.
With this, we'll stop here. Thank you, one and all. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And sorry for the
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.